Did any of you do anything a little dumb in high school? Raise your hands. Don't be shy. Okay, well, I feel way better about the story I'm going to tell you all today. You see, I have this friend, and he's one of those super adventurous types, right? So one morning when I woke up, I checked the group chat and I saw a picture of him hanging out in a freezing cold lake. I was not surprised at all, right? But he would never just leave it there. He always liked to drag everyone else along on his adventures with him. So he goes, guys, we're going to do this challenge where we jump in the lake at least once a month, every month, for a whole year, right? And knowing me, what do you guys think I said? No, are you kidding me? Listen, I'm from Washington State, and if you're not familiar, it gets cold there, okay? Anyways, that was December of 2020. Now fast forward to January of 2021. I was hanging out with my friends, and all of a sudden it starts pouring rain, right? We get drenched in like 10 minutes. At that point, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just jump in the lake, right? So we all hop in the car. On the way there, I'm feeling good. You know, I got this, challenge accepted. I'm gonna kill it. Right, and we get there, and I hop out of the car, and ooh, it's cold, right? And it's still pouring rain, actually. I'm starting to pick up on the fact that it might not be as fun as I thought it was going to be. Anyways, we go down to the dock, and I'm getting ready to go, face to face with the water, right? And I'm thinking, you know what'll make me feel a little better, right? I'll just feel the water. I'm sure it's not as bad as I think. Make me feel bad. So I dip my toe in it. Terrible idea. The water was cold as, okay. And now my mind is racing. What have I got myself into? Oh my goodness, Dan, this is too hard. You can't do this. And then I hung on to that last one for a second. Well, what do I mean, you can't do this, right? I've jumped in this same lake 100 times before, right? Oop, that's all it takes. The second I realized that, I knew there was nothing that was going to stop me from jumping in. No matter what was going on up here, I knew I was just going to do it. So not only did I jump in, I actually backflipped in. Anyways. Whoa, right? Let's hit a freeze frame right there. I couldn't do something, and then I did it anyways. Think about how different your life would be today if every time there was something you couldn't do, you just did it anyways, right? Crazy. And that's when I learned that the best way to grow is by jumping into the deep end, doing exactly what it is you think you can. So I kept jumping, from applying to universities that were way out of my reach, to applying to jobs that, frankly, I had no idea how to do. Even just saying hi to someone I've never said hi to before, right? And after doing this for a while, and a lot of reflection, a lot of conversations, I came up with a little equation of what I think the best way to go about this mode of personal development is, right? Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard the saying, success happens when preparation meets opportunity, right? What does this mean for growth? Well, if you set success equal to growth, then the preparation becomes a combination of your habits and your mindset, and the opportunity becomes those critical decision moments where you could either step up or stall. Now, let's get into what I really mean by your mindset, right? Your mindset is a foundation of how you see yourself, the world, your challenges, everything. And let's take this story by Alan Watts as an example, right? There's this farmer, and one day his horse runs away, and all the neighbors come over and they say, that's too bad. And the farmer says, well, maybe, right? And then the next day the horse comes back with 7 wild horses, and all the neighbors come over and they say, wow, good for you. And the farmer says, well, maybe. And then the next day, the farmer's son tries to tame one of the wild horses. The horse breaks its leg, right? All the neighbors came over and said, oh my goodness, that is too bad. And the farmer says, well, Maybe. Right? What can we take from the story? Good and bad stem from everything in life. And it is our luck and our privilege that we get to choose which we see, right? It's the classic glass half full, glass half empty. And I have this super simple, super easy trick I use to help me flip my mindset from half empty to half full, right? And that is take the words I have to out of your vocabulary. Replace them with I get to, right? Think about all the things you have to do today. I have to go to work. I have to go to class. I have to do my homework. I have to do the dishes, right? Now think of all the things you get to do today, right? Oh, I get to hang out with my friend, I get to go out to dinner. I get to watch the new episode of my favorite show. When you think of something you get to do, you're choosing to do, you have a more positive connotation in your head. And not only that, you typically end up on a better conclusion, right? Instead of, I have to go to work. What if it was, I get to go to work so I can make money to travel the world, right? That's a little better, no? And when it comes to challenges, instead of, I failed, so I have to start over. It's, I failed, so I get to learn from this and improve my next attempt. Isn't that awesome? Now, this in and of itself is so powerful. But when you couple this with your habits, you really get the ball rolling, right? And what are your habits? They're your typical tendencies, the things you do every day, really without thinking. And there are a ton of habits out there that could really help you on your journey to being the best version of yourself. But I think there is one that is super important, right? And that is to err on the side of doing, right? Most people get stuck before they even start, right? It's always, you know what? I'm going to do it tomorrow, right? Or later, or next time, or in just a bit, right? No. You're going to start now, right? Make it a rule for yourself. When you think of something, right, I wanted to start running and I just thought about it. Well, I'm going to go for a run today and I'm going to plan my whole day around it now because now I know I'm doing it. For me, I had this little problem where, my friends would remind me, hey, Dan, don't forget to take the trash out. And I'd go, thank you so much for reminding me. I'll do it in 5 minutes. And then I'd forget. And that's not ideal for anyone, right? So I got better and better at just pivoting like, awesome, take the trash out, go back to what I was doing, right? So you're probably thinking, Dan, what does taking the trash out have anything to do with being the best version of myself? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's practicing that habit of erring on the side of doing, right? Because then when push comes to shove, you'll leap into action, right? And when does push come to shove? It's in those critical decision moments, right? You'll know you're at a critical decision moment when, your heart drops to your stomach. Maybe you're feeling a little anxious, a little nervous, a little stressed, a little voice in your head is saying, I don't know if you can do this, right? And in these moments, the habit of erring on the side of doing will be your best friend to help propel you across. Now, this is all fun, right? But the best way to really understand the equation is to see it in action. So let me tell you a little story. It was October of 2024. And it's a beautiful day, sunny day. I'm walking through the quad, my college campus. And, maybe I was pushing off a little homework, so I decided to talk about the clubs, right? And I go up, and eventually, I make it to the TEDxUCDavis club. They greet me with, hi, would you be interested in being a speaker at this year's event? And my heart dropped to my stomach. A speaker? TEDx speaker? Me? They said, yeah. I said, well, what would I even talk about? They said, whatever you want. Right? So let's break that down. The fact that my heart was still sitting in my stomach was telling me it was one of those critical decision moments, right? Now, my mindset was seeing that it's not, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to prepare, I'm going to have to make all these things, I'm going to have to make time for it. It was, wow, I get to try to take on an opportunity, a challenge that I've never had the privilege of taking on before. And my habit of erring on the side of doing led me to pull my phone out and start the application then and there. So it was already happening. It was already on the way. Right? And I'm standing here in front of you, proud to say that I have learned so much from this experience. You know, I hope the second you step out that door today, you go and find your lake, and you decide to jump in it. Because for me, it's been more incredible than I could have ever imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Firstenberg. Thank you for watching my TED Talk.